I'm here to talk about International Women's Day. International Women's Day has been observed since in the 1900s, a time of great expansion and turbulence in the industrialized world that saw booming in population growth and the rise of radical ideologies. Great unrest and critical debate was occurring amongst women's oppression, and inequality was spurring women to become more vocal and active in campaigning for change. Then in 1908, 15,000 women marched through New York City demanding shorter hours, better pay, and voting rights. In accordance with the Declaration of the Socialist Party of America, the first National Women's Day, or NWD, was observed across the United States on the 28th of February. Women continued to celebrate NWD on the last Sunday of February until 1913. In 1910, a second international conference of working women was held in Copenhagen. A woman named Clara Zetkin, leader of the Women's Office for the Socialist Democratic Party in Germany, tabled the idea of an International Women's Day. She proposed that every year in every country there should be the celebration on the same day, a Women's Day, to press for their demands. The conference of over 100 women from 17 countries representing unions, socialist parties, working women's clubs, and including the first 3 women elected to finish a parliament, greeted Zetkin's suggestion with a unanimous approval, and thus International Women's Day was the result. Following the decision agreed at Copenhagen in 1911, International Women's Day, or IWD, was honored for the first time in Austria, Denmark, Germany, and Switzerland on the 19th of March. More than 1 million women and men attended IWD rallies campaigning for women's rights to work, vote, be trained, to hold public office, and end discrimination. However, less than a week later, on March 25th, the tragic Triangle Fire in New York City took the lives of more than 140 working women, most of them Italian and Jewish immigrants. This disastrous event drew significant attention to working conditions and labor legislation in the United States that became the focus of a subsequent International Women's Day events. 1911 also saw a Women's Bread and Roses campaign. On the eve of World War I, campaigning for peace, Russian women observed their first International Women's Day on the last Sunday in February 1913. In 1913, discussions, IWD was transferred to March 8th, and this day has remained the global date for IWD ever since. In 1914, further women across Europe held rallies to campaign against the war and they expressed women's solidarity. On the last Sunday of February, Russian women began a strike for bread and peace in response to the death of over 2 million Russian soldiers in war. Opposed by the political leaders, the women continued to strike until 4 days later, the Czar was forced to abdicate and the provisional government granted women the right to vote. The date the women's strike commenced was Sunday, 23rd February, on Julian calendar, then in use in Russia. This day on the Georgian calendar in use elsewhere was the 8th of March. Since its birth, the socialist movement, International Women's Day, has grown to become a global day of recognition and a celebration across developed and developing countries alike. Decades has grown from strength to strength annually. In 1975 was designated an International Women's Year by the United Nations. Women's organizations and governments around the world have also observed WD annually on March 8th by holding large-scale events that honors women's advancement, and while diligently reminding of the continued vigilance and action required to ensure that women's equality is gained and maintained in all aspects of life. Women's Day is now an official holiday in Afghanistan, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Burkina Faso, Cambodia, China for women only, Cuba, Georgia, Guinea-Bissau, Eritrea, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Laos, Madagascar, Moldova, Mongolia, Montenegro, Nepal, Russia, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uganda, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, and Zambia. Traditional sees men honoring their mothers, wives, girlfriends, colleagues, etc., with flowers and small gifts. In some countries, Women's Day has the equivalent statues of Mother's Day, where children give small gifts to their mothers and grandmothers. One could think that women have gained true equality. The unfortunate fact is that women are still not paid equally to that of their male counterparts. Women still are not present in equal numbers in business or politics, and globally, women's education, health, and violence against them is worse than that of men. However, great improvements have been made. We do have female astronauts and prime ministers. So make a difference, think globally, and act locally. Make everybody International Women's Day. Do your bit to ensure that the future for girls is bright, equal, and rewarding. Thank you.